sun had left the valley to go climbing up the slopes of the Gabalan Mountains, and the hilltops were rosy in the sun. But by the pool, among the mottled sycamores, a pleasant shade had fallen. A water snake glided smoothly up the pool, twisting its periscope head from side to side, and it swam the length of the pool and came to the legs of a motionless heron that stood in the shallows. A silent head and beak glanced down and plucked out by the head, and the beak swallowed the little snake while its tail waved frantically. A far rush of wind, someone be the wind. I'll go like this, be sound effects. Sounded in gust, drove through the tops of the trees like a wave. Let's be a wave. Okay. The sycamore leaves turned up their silver sides. The brown, dry leaves on the ground scudded a few feet, and row on row of tiny wind waves float up the pool's green surface. As quickly as it had gone, the wind died, and the clearing was quiet again. The heron stood in the shallow, motionless and waiting. Another little water snake swam up the pool, turning its periscope head from side to side. Suddenly, Lenny appeared out of the brush, and he came up silently as a creeping bear moves. Move like a bear. The heron pounded the air with its wings, jacked itself clear of the water, and flew off downriver. The little snake slid in among the reeds on the pool's side. Lenny came quietly to the pool's edge. That's the pool's edge. He knelt down and drank, barely touching his lips to the water. When a little bird skittered over the dry leaves behind him, his head jerked up, and he strained toward the sound with eyes and ears until he saw the bird. And then he dropped his head and drank again. When he finished, he sat down on the bank with his side to the pool so that he could watch the trail's entrance. He embraced his knees. Hug your knees. He embraced his knees and laid his chin down on his knees. The light climbed out of the valley, and as it went, the tops of the mountains seemed to blaze with increasing brightness. Lenny said softly,
I didn't get you back. God damn high.
keep going, yeah.
Oh. No, you go now.
No, goddamn, hide in the brush, you have to keep reading.
Oh. Hide in the brush and wait. Oh, I'm supposed to play it?
Yeah, you're supposed to be saying this. I didn't forget, you're reading, you're Lenny, you're reading Lenny's line.
What about hide in the bush? And
Yeah, that's all he's saying this, that's him, it's everything in quotes you guys will say.
Okay. I didn't forget, you bet God didn't. Hide in the bush and wait for George.
He pulled his hat down low over his eyes. Keep going, keep going.
George?
Yeah, read.
George, go on.
Yeah, read.
Continue.
Me?
Yeah, you
Yes.
have, this is all yours.
George gonna wish he was alone. And not have me bothering him.
He turned his head and looked at the bright mountaintops. Ooh, yeah, that's good. He turned his head and looked at the bright mountaintops.
Now you.
Continue.
I can go right up there and find a cave.
He said. And he continued sadly,
I never have no ketchup, but I don't care if George don't want me. I'll go away, I'll go away.
and then from out of Lenny's head, there came a little fat old woman. She wore, oh, I don't have them, thick bullseye glasses. She wore thick bullseye glasses. I have to find glasses. You have them? She was she wore thick bullseye glasses, and she wore a huge gingham apron with pockets. And she was starched and clean. She stood in front of Lenny and put her hands on her hips, and she frowned disapprovingly at him. And when she spoke, it was in Lenny's voice.
I told you and told you.
She said,
I tell you, George, because she's
He's just a nice fellow and good to you. But you don't never take no care. You do bad thing.
And Lenny answered her.
I try and try, I try and try, I couldn't help it.
You never give a talk to John.
She went on in Lenny's voice.
He been doing nothing for you all the time. When you got a pie, you always got a half or more than half. And if they were any ketchup, well, he give you on to you.
I know.
Said Lenny miserably.
I try and try, I try and try.
She interrupted him.
All the time he couldn't have shot a good time if it wasn't for you. He could have took his pay and raised hell in the whole house, and he could to sitting in the poor room and play snooker, but he got to take care of you.
Lenny moaned with grief.
I know and man. I'll go right up in the hill and I'll find a cave and I'll live there so I won't be no more trouble to Joy.
You just say that.
She said sharply.
You always say that, and you know, son of bitching where you aren't never gonna do it. You will just sit around and steal the big justice for the job all the time.
Lenny said.
I might just as well go away. Joy ain't gonna let me tend no rabbit. And Carol.
No. Rabbit's not. Aunt Clara was gone, and from out of Lenny's head, there came a gigantic rabbit. Where's the ears? Fix the ears. They're not so good. Oh, Zaki, you're a good sport. Came a gigantic rabbit. Oh, where are we? Okay. And in front of him, and it waggled its ears and crinkled its nose at him, and it spoke in Lenny's voice too.
Tom Robbins,
It said scornfully.
you crazy bastard, you ain't fit to lick the boots of no rabbit. You'd forget and let them go hungry. That's what you do. And then what would George think?
Lenny.
I hear you.
No, I would not forget. You're Lenny, you're not the rabbit.
Oh, I would not forget.
Lenny said loudly.
The hell you wouldn't.
Said the rabbit.
You ain't worth the greasy jackpin to rain into your hell. Christ no George done everything he could to jack you out of swear, but it don't do no good. If you think George's gonna let you turn rabbits, you are even crazier than usual. He ain't. He's gonna beat hell out you with a stick. That's what he's gonna do.
Now, George retorted belligerently. George?
No, it's Lenny.
I'm sorry. Now Lenny retorted belligerently. Sorry.
He ain't me.
Thank you.
He ain't neither. George won't do nothing like that. I know George since I forgot when he ain't never raised his hand to me with his stick. He nice to me. He ain't gonna be me.
Well, he's sick of you.
He said the rabbit.
He's gonna beat the hell out you and then go away and leave you.
He won't.
Lenny cried frantically.
He won't do nothing like that. I know Joy. He ain't han. Me and him travel together.
But the rabbit repeated softly over and over.
He gonna leave you, you crazy bastard. He gonna leave you all alone. He gonna leave you, crazy bastard.
Lenny put his hands over his ears.
He ain't tell you he ain't.
No.
No.
Lenny. Lenny put his hand over his ears. Lenny?
He ain't. He ain't. And
I tell you.
I tell you, he ain't. And he cried. Lenny cried. Oh. No, you shouldn't say,
No.
give her the line.
You-
Lenny. Oh.
oh, Joy, come quickly out of the book.
No.
No.
You come now.
Okay, you're good, rabbit. Hop away. George came quietly out of the brush, and the rabbit scuttled back into Lenny's brain. George.
What the hell are you yelling about?
Lenny got up on his knees.
That's it. No more.
No, what are you talking about?
Come on.
No more? Lenny got up on his knees. Lenny, you ain't gonna.
Get up?
No, Lenny
No,
got
just
up on his
say-
knees.
Uh-oh.
What do you
You
say?
ain't gonna leave me, are you, George? I know you ain't.
George came stiffly near and sat down beside him.
No.
I know it.
Lenny cried.
You ain't that kind.
George was silent. Lenny said,
Yeah.
no, Lenny said,
Then he said
Lenny
George.
said,
George,
Yeah.
I've done another bad thing.
It don't make no difference.
George said, and he fell silent again. Only the topmost riches were in the sun now. Oh, sorry, I had to get my, where are we? Well, the top riches were in the sun now. The shadow in the valley was